Control. It's that shimmering mirage we chase in the desert of uncertainty. We want to grasp it, hold it tight, believe that if we just clutch it hard enough, life will stop shaking, stop throwing punches, stop testing us with its wild twists. It's an ancient human urge to bend the world to our will, to predict, to dominate, to keep chaos locked behind an iron gate. But here's the brutal truth, stripped of comforting lies. Control is a mirage, a dazzling illusion we fool ourselves into believing, because admitting the opposite feels like surrender. We want to believe control is possible, because it offers security, safety, and peace of mind. It's the balm we apply to the raw wounds of uncertainty. Yet, no matter how tightly we clutch, the sand slips through our fingers. At its root, the craving for control is fueled by fear, primal, relentless fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of chaos. Fear of loss and failure. When everything feels out of control, when life feels like a storm on the horizon, grasping for control becomes our lifeline. From childhood, we're taught that control equals safety. We control our behavior to avoid punishment. We control outcomes by planning and preparation to avoid mistakes. We control others by persuasion or manipulation to get what we want. Control becomes synonymous with survival. But what if control is actually the cage we build around ourselves? The paradox is this. The more we try to control, the more trapped we become. Instead of freedom, control breeds anxiety. Instead of peace, it creates tension. The harder we squeeze, the more life squirms out of our grasp. Let's get real. There's so much about life we simply cannot control. You cannot control other people's thoughts, feelings, or actions. The economy, the weather, or global events. Time, or the inevitable passing of moments. Chance, accidents, or random occurrences. The illusion that we can steer all these variables is just that, an illusion. No matter how many plans we make, no matter how many what-if scenarios we run through, life throws curveballs that blindside us. It's unpredictable. Trying to control all of it is like trying to hold the ocean in your hands. It's a pointless exercise that drains your energy, steals your joy, and saps your resilience. Here's the catch. True freedom comes not from control, but from surrender. Surrender is a word that scares people. They think it means giving up, quitting, losing. But surrender is something else entirely. It's the brave act of accepting life as it is. Messy, chaotic, uncertain, and choosing to dance with it rather than fight it. When you surrender, you stop exhausting yourself trying to fix everything or make everything perfect. You stop holding on so tightly that your hands hurt. You make peace with what you cannot change. And that peace? It's liberating. Surrender means trusting the process, trusting yourself, trusting life's unfolding even when the map isn't clear. It's acknowledging that life has rhythms and seasons beyond our control, but also trusting your own ability to adapt, survive, and thrive no matter what comes. Think of a surfer. The surfer can't control the ocean waves, but they can control how they ride them, balance, positioning, and timing. They surrender to the wave's power and flow, using it to propel themselves forward. We too can learn to ride life's waves instead of drowning in resistance. There's a tipping point where the need for control becomes toxic. Control turns toxic when it breeds anxiety and paranoia, drives you to micromanage yourself and others, leads to rigidity, inflexibility, and perfectionism, creates stress and exhaustion, sabotages relationships because you try to control people's choices or feelings, stops you from taking risks and growing. This toxic control is the enemy of creativity, spontaneity, and joy. It builds walls that isolate you from others and from the richness of experience. Learning to flow with life's unpredictability is an art. It means cultivating flexibility, patience, and resilience. It means acknowledging that plans will fail, people will disappoint, and surprises will happen. Flow isn't passive resignation. It's active engagement with the present moment, with what is, not what you wish it to be. Practice this by accepting feelings as they come, even uncomfortable ones. Being open to changing course when needed. Letting go of rigid expectations. Finding humor in chaos. Taking one step at a time, even when the path isn't clear. Often, our craving for control is tied to how we see ourselves. We confuse control with competence, strength, or worth. I'm only valuable if I can manage everything. I'm only strong if I can keep control. But here's the truth. Vulnerability and uncertainty don't make you weak. They make you human. The most resilient people aren't those who control everything. They're the ones who embrace uncertainty, who fail, who adapt, who learn, who grow. True strength lies in letting go. Look around. Every one of us has moments where control slipped away. The breakup that shattered your carefully built life. The illness that blindsided your plans. The job lost, or the dream derailed. In those moments, the illusion of control shatters. But what follows, healing, growth, reinvention, is the real story. Sometimes losing control opens doors you never saw before. Sometimes it frees you to become who you were meant to be, not who you thought you should be. Letting go of control is easier said than done. Here are practical steps to start. Mindfulness. Practice observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice when you're trying to control and gently redirect. Accept uncertainty. Remind yourself that uncertainty is part of life's fabric. Focus on what you can control, your attitude, your effort, your responses. Set flexible goals. Aim for progress, not perfection. Practice gratitude. Focus on what is going well. Seek support. Talk to friends, counselors, or mentors about your struggles with control. There's a beautiful paradox here. The more you surrender control, the more freedom you gain. When you stop trying to force outcomes, you create space for creativity, joy, and peace. You open yourself to experiences you never expected. You learn to trust the flow and trust yourself. And that trust? It's the most powerful kind of control you can have. Life is a wild ride, full of twists, turns, ups and downs, and moments that defy explanation. Trying to control it all is like trying to tame a tornado. Instead, embrace the chaos. Dance with the uncertainty. Laugh at the unexpected. Life's beauty isn't in perfect order. It's in its unpredictability, its mystery, its wildness. So stop clutching at control like a lifeline. Drop the illusion, and find your freedom in the flow. If you agree, ink, rage, repeat, share, like, and subscribe. See you next time.